Never eat these 22 exotic foods or you'll die. Today, we're delving into the world of exotic cuisine. While trying new foods can be an exciting journey, there are some dishes out there that could pose serious risks to your health. Join me as we explore the top 22 exotic foods you should never eat, unless you want to risk your life. Our first contender on the list is the deadly fugu fish. Fugu, also known as pufferfish, contains a lethal toxin that can paralyze your muscles, leading to respiratory failure and, ultimately, death if not prepared correctly by a licensed chef. Next up, we have the infamous ackee fruit. While native to Jamaica, this fruit can be deadly if consumed before it's fully ripe. Unripe ackee contains a toxin called hypoglycin, which can cause severe hypoglycemia and even lead to death. Now, let's talk about the humble cashew nut. Did you know that raw cashews contain urushiol, the same toxic compound found in poison ivy? Ingesting raw cashews can result in severe reactions, including blistering and respiratory distress. As we venture further into our list, we encounter the deceptively innocent-looking Casumarzu cheese originating from Sardinia, Italy. This cheese is infamously known for its live maggot inhabitants. Consuming this cheese can lead to severe infections and intestinal damage. Moving on, let's discuss the lethal effects of the giant bullfrog. In some cultures, these amphibians are considered a delicacy. However, consuming improperly cooked bullfrog meat can result in fatal cases of salmonella poisoning. Our next entry on the list is the controversial shark fin soup. While considered a delicacy in certain parts of the world, the process of obtaining shark fins involves shark finning, a cruel and unsustainable practice that has led to a significant decline in shark populations. As we continue our exploration, we come across the enticingly colorful berries. These berries may look appetizing, but they contain toxic compounds that can cause severe vomiting, convulsions, and, in some cases, cardiac arrest. Now, let's talk about the deadly consequences of consuming raw or undercooked elderberries. Elderberries contain cyanogenic glycosides, which can release cyanide in the body when ingested improperly, leading to poisoning and even death. As we near the halfway point of our list, we must address the dangers of consuming the potentially lethal fiddlehead ferns. While these ferns may seem harmless, certain varieties contain toxic compounds that can cause severe gastrointestinal distress and, in rare cases, even lead to death. Moving on, let's discuss the dangers of consuming raw or undercooked lima beans. These beans contain a naturally occurring toxin called linamarin, which can cause severe poisoning if not properly cooked. Our next entry on the list is the notorious blood clams. These shellfish are often harvested from polluted waters, making them a breeding ground for dangerous pathogens such as hepatitis A and typhoid fever. As we delve deeper into our list, we encounter the lethal effects of consuming the highly toxic cassava root. While a staple food in many parts of the world, cassava contains cyanogenic glycosides, which can release cyanide in the body when ingested improperly. Now, let's talk about the dangers of consuming raw or undercooked red kidney beans. These beans contain a toxin called phytohemagglutinin, which can cause severe gastrointestinal distress and, in rare cases, lead to poisoning. As we reach the final stretch of our list, we must address the hazards of consuming raw or undercooked rhubarb leaves. While rhubarb stalks are commonly used in cooking, the leaves contain high levels of oxalic acid, which can be toxic if ingested in large quantities. Moving on, let's discuss the dangers of consuming the potentially lethal Pangium edgel fruit, also known as the football fruit. This fruit contains hydrogen cyanide, a deadly toxin that can cause severe poisoning if ingested. Our next entry on the list is the infamous deathcap mushroom. This highly toxic mushroom closely resembles edible varieties, making it a deadly trap for unsuspecting foragers. Consuming even a small amount of this mushroom can lead to liver failure and death. As we near the end of our list, we must address the dangers of consuming the potentially lethal caterpillar fungus. While touted for its supposed medicinal properties, this fungus can contain high levels of arsenic and other toxic compounds. Now, let's talk about the dangers of consuming the highly toxic blowfish, also known as fugu in Japanese cuisine. Despite strict regulations on its preparation, consuming improperly prepared blowfish can result in paralysis and, in some cases, death. As we approach the final entry on our list, we must address the dangers of consuming the lethal African bullfrog. This amphibian secretes toxins through its skin, which can cause severe poisoning if ingested. Sanachi, a Korean dish consisting of live octopus tentacles. While it may seem thrilling to eat something still squirming on your plate, the suction cups on the tentacles can latch onto your throat, causing choking or even death. Proceed with extreme caution. Now, let's talk about fesek, a traditional Egyptian dish of fermented salted fish. While it's a staple during certain celebrations, consuming fesek can lead to serious cases of food poisoning and even botulism due to improper fermentation practices. Definitely not worth risking your health for. Moving on to the deadly delicacy of hyena meat. In some parts of Africa, hyena meat is considered a rare treat, but it comes with a host of health risks, including rabies and various bacterial infections. Plus, hunting hyenas can have serious conservation implications. It's best to steer clear. Now, let's talk about sassafras oil, derived from the root bark of the sassafras tree. This oil was once used as a flavoring agent in root beer. However, it contains safrole, a carcinogenic compound banned by the FDA. Ingesting large amounts can lead to liver damage and cancer. Moving along, we have the iconic durian fruit. Known for its pungent odor, durian contains high levels of sulfur compounds that can interact with alcohol, leading to severe health complications. Plus, its spiky exterior can pose a danger if not handled properly. Now, let's talk about the deadly cone snail. While it may seem harmless, the venom of the cone snail can be lethal if injected into the bloodstream. Ingesting cone snails, even accidentally, can lead to paralysis and respiratory failure. Now, let's talk about raw honey. While it's touted for its health benefits, raw honey can contain spores of Clostridium botulinum, which can lead to infant botulism in young children. Always avoid giving raw honey to infants under 1 year of age. Moving along, we have the infamous balot. This Filipino delicacy consists of a fertilized duck embryo boiled alive and eaten in its shell. While it's considered a delicacy by some, the thought of consuming a partially developed duck embryo is enough to turn many people away. Haggis, a Scottish dish made from sheep's offal, might not be lethal, but its high fat content can contribute to heart disease and other health issues if consumed regularly. Enjoy haggis in moderation as part of a balanced diet. Huitlacoke, also known as corn smut, is a fungus that grows on corn and is considered a delicacy in Mexican cuisine. While it's safe to eat, consuming large amounts can cause digestive issues and allergic reactions in some individuals. Enjoy in moderation. Absinthe, the notorious green fairy. While it's legal in many countries now, absinthe contains thujone, a compound that in high doses can cause hallucinations, seizures, and even death. Remember, folks, moderation is key. Sea cucumbers, often considered a delicacy in Asian cuisine. While they may look harmless, some species of sea cucumbers contain toxins that can cause paralysis or even death if not properly prepared. It's best to leave these creatures in the ocean where they belong. Remember, when it comes to your health, it's always important to do your research and make informed choices about the foods you consume. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more informative content.